All right, let's talk about a huge pain point for just about every creator out there right now, escaping that sea of generic AI images. Today, we're going to build a workflow that actually gives you brand consistency and creative control, and you don't need a massive budget to do it. Okay, let's dive in.
You know this feeling, right? You're scrolling and scrolling, and it's just this endless wave of bland, repetitive AI content that looks nothing like your brand. You ask for something specific, and you get something that looks, well, like everything else. It's a huge problem.
So what happens? You try to create that perfect, on-brand image yourself, but the results are all over the place, totally inconsistent. And that just forces you right back to those crazy expensive stock photo subscriptions just to get the consistency you need for a single campaign. Now, in the middle of all this frustration, you've probably heard this name being whispered around in creator groups like it's some kind of magic bullet solution. AI Laura. But what is it really? Is it an app? A secret website? Let's clear up all that confusion right now.
Okay, it's time to pull back the curtain. Let's meet the real technology that can give you that creative control you're looking for. The real name isn't Laura, and trust me, it's way more powerful than just a simple app. So first things first, there is no app called AI Laura. It's just a catchy, easy-to-say nickname for a technology called LoRa, which stands for Low Rank Adaptation. The best way to think about it is as a small, super efficient set of instructions you can give to a giant AI model to get a very, very specific result.
Here's a great way to think about it. The big foundational AI model, like Stable Diffusion, that's like your entire computer. It's got this massive base of general knowledge. A LoRa, on the other hand, is like a tiny, specialized graphics card driver you install. It doesn't know everything, but it knows how to do one specific thing absolutely perfectly.
And this is exactly why LoRa is such a game changer for creators. The files are tiny, so they're easy to download and manage. They run incredibly fast, which is perfect when you're trying to A/B test a bunch of ad creatives. And the most important part, they deliver hyper-specific results, giving you that brand consistency that generic prompts just can't touch.
So how do you actually get started with this stuff without needing a degree in computer science? Well, the good news is you don't need to get bogged down in code at all. You really only need two things in your toolkit to make all this work.
First, you need what's called an execution environment, which is just a fancy way of saying a cloud platform that acts as your powerful AI machine. And second, you need a repository. Think of it as a massive library where you can find all those specific drivers or style files that the community has already trained and shared.
For your environment, services like Tensor.art are fantastic for just getting started and testing ideas. They usually have a free tier. Then, as you scale up and need more control, platforms like RunPod are excellent pay-as-you-go options. But here's the absolute key. No matter what you pick, your chosen platform must support custom LoRa uploads. That's non-negotiable.
And for your library? Well, there's really only one place you need to know. Civit AI. This is the central hub for the entire community. It's where you'll find thousands and thousands of LoRa's for any style you can possibly imagine, from cinematic lighting to specific illustration techniques. It's all there.
Okay, so you've got your toolkit ready, your cloud platform is chosen, and you've got Civit AI bookmarked. Now let's walk through the simple 4-step workflow to actually put this into practice and start creating some amazing, consistent images.
First step, don't just browse aimlessly. Have a goal. Are you trying to get a cinematic lighting vibe? Or maybe a flat corporate design style? Search for that on Civit AI. And before you download anything, check the 3 vital signs on the page: the special trigger word that activates it, the base model it was built for, and the creator's recommended weight.
Next, you got to get that LoRa file into your platform. A lot of services now make this super easy with a direct integration. You just paste the Civit.ai link and you're done. If not, it's just as simple as downloading the small file and dragging and dropping it into the designated LoRa folder in your web interface. It's really that easy.
Now, here's the secret sauce. This is how you actually use the LoRa. Just uploading it does absolutely nothing. It just sits there, dormant. You have to explicitly call it in your prompt using this exact syntax: the word LoRa, a colon, the file name, another colon, and then a number for the weight.
So let's put all the pieces together. For this to work, your final prompt needs to have these 3 essential parts: your regular image description, that LoRa.syntax we just saw, and that specific trigger word you found on the Civit AI page. If you miss that trigger word, the LoRa just won't activate. It'll completely ignore it. And finally, we get to the step where the real artistry comes in: mastering the weight. That number at the end of the syntax, that's your fine-tuning dial.
It gives you precise control over exactly how strongly the LoRa's style gets applied to your final image. A good rule of thumb is to start at about 0.7. If the effect is too subtle and your image still looks kind of generic, you can dial it up towards 1.0. But if the image starts to look distorted or weird, or what people call overbaked, you'll want to dial it back down towards 0.5. You're just searching for that perfect sweet spot where the style really enhances your subject.
So now that you have the basic workflow down, let's talk about the pro move. This is how you go from creating just one great image to building a consistent, repeatable, creative engine for your entire brand or your next big campaign.
Look, the most successful marketers, they don't start from scratch every single time. When they find a combination that works, they save everything as a simple text template. I'm talking the main prompt, the negative prompt, which tells the AI what to avoid, the exact LoRa call, and even technical settings like the seed number, which basically locks in the image's composition so you can just change other details.
Doing this allows you to achieve incredible creative velocity. Once that template is locked in, you can generate dozens of perfectly on-brand ad variations just by changing one or two words in the subject of the prompt. It is an absolute game changer for efficiency.
So, let's zoom out for a second. What's the big picture here? With this technology evolving so fast, where should you really be focusing your energy and your time to stay ahead of the curve? Let's be really clear about something. All this technical stuff, finding files, downloading them, remembering trigger words, that's all a temporary problem. The platforms are getting smarter every day, and they're going to automate all of that away. Don't get lost in the process, because at the end of the day, a LoRa is just a tool. It's just a faster wrench.
The real lasting skill that you bring to the table isn't memorizing syntax. It's your creative judgment. It's knowing why a certain style serves your brand, and why a weight of 0.65 makes an ad connect with an audience better than 0.85. The tools are going to become invisible, but your creative eye, that's the skill that will always matter. That's the human filter that will always be in demand. So the only question left is, are you ready to be that filter?